Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to install Synology, a modified version of Synology's DSM to run on non-Synology hardware, onto ESXi hypervisor, which is running on my HP N54L microserver. It may work on other hardware, but this is specifically for the HP N54L. At this point I assume you've already put the ESXi installer onto a USB pen or CD or whatever, and I've started the install as shown in the video here. Additionally, sorry about the bad video quality at this point. I'm using my LG G2 Android phone. Once it's got ESXi installed, I can obviously access it remotely from another system, in which case then I'm using screen recording software, and the quality is much better, both sound and video.
Okay, so now we're at the Welcome to the VMware EXi 5.5.0 installation screen. If you're running less than 4 gigs of RAM, you're going to need to do a little hack. I'm running 2, another 2's in the post. So to do that, we just need to press Alt and F1. See there, it's asking me to log in. Log in as root. No password. Okay, now we need to cd to Weasel util, and we need to rm the upgrade. Make sure it's the pyc file. I'm not sure if it's actually needed, but from all the guides I've seen, you need to mv the upgrade check to call it .old. Then you need to copy it back. I really have no idea what this actually does, but apparently there's a reason for it. Okay, now what you need to do is vi the upgrade check, press slash capitals min, enter, and now we should be taken to this line here. Press I, use the arrow keys, change the 4 to a 1, press escape, press shift and colon, W, exclamation mark, enter, press that, Q, enter. Okay, now that's not saved. Now we just need to kill the process, and to do that we need to ps-c maybe it's more. Grep weasel. Okay, as you can see, the process ID for Python weasel main is 34575. So kill dash 9 34575. Enter. Okay, now we're back at the install. This has now bypassed the 4 gig minimum. There may be reasons for it, so if you have issues, I doubt you'll get support from ESXi. Okay, so enter. F11 to accept. Okay, now select disk. As a test bed, I am using a SanDisk Extreme USB pen. It's always good to use that. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to use that one. So press enter on that. It's going to gather additional information from the selected device. It already contains data. Are you sure you want to erase it? Yep. I'm in the UK, so I'm going to use that. I would assume most people that own one of these servers is probably in the UK, because they would have bought it with the cashback offer. Anyway, create a password. Press enter again. on my sure I want to install. There we go, installing. I'll pause the video and be back when it's finished. Okay, so now that the installation is complete, it's going to want to reboot the server. Make sure to remove your USB that's booted this and reboot. What? I don't know why it does that sometimes. Sometimes it resets what device it's booting to. It only seems to happen when you've changed which USB device it's booting. Anyway, that's an easy fix. If you have this problem, all you got to do is press F10 here, and your BIOS password, if you've got one. Go to boot device priority, and change that back to USB. Escape. Exit, save changes. Okay. There we go. This takes a little while to boot, especially the first time. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back when it's all booted up. Go back. Right, so once it's all booted fully, you should see that at the top. Obviously 2 gig memory will be not the same if you have a different amount of memory. And here's the more important bit. See there it says go to get the tools from 192.168.1.2. Obviously that'll be different depending on your network. But before we do that, you've got the shutdown option there. And the important one is the customize. So press F2. Log in with the password you set earlier. Okay, and then go to troubleshooting options and enable, as you can see there it's currently disabled. You need to enable it, so you press enter on it. There we go. And same for this one. There we go. Now we just need to back out of that. And we're back in. Right. And the rest of this can be done from a computer, so I shall switch to screen recording software and be back.
So basically, now that we've got ESXi installed, we navigate most of it through a remote system. You need to navigate to the IP address that the system told you to go to, which in my case was 192.168.1.2. You may get asked about a security warning, just proceed anyway, as it's perfectly safe. Once you're on this page, download the vSphere client. vSphere? I can't say that word properly. So download that. Right, so once that's downloaded, and you've installed it, load up vSphere client, log in, like so. Just ignore the warning or install the certificate. Did this either way. Once you're in, you should be brought up to a screen that looks a bit like this, telling you for a start that you have an evaluation license which will expire in 60 days. Link in the description to get directly to that page. My license key. Just copy it. Go to configuration, licensed features, edit. Go to assign a new license key. Press enter key, enter your key, press OK again, and you should see at the bottom installing and decoding license complete. So there we go. Now it's all licensed. The next thing we need to do is create a data store. To do that, we go to configuration, storage, add storage, disk LUN. We select the disk, select VMFS5, and then basically confirm the settings. Once that's done, you'll get a data store as shown here. and there's data store and everything ready to in preparation for the VMs. Create a new virtual machine, select custom, name it. In my case, I'm going to name it XPianology. Click next. Select our data store. Select virtual machine version 8, Linux. Other 2.6.x Linux 64-bit. Number of cores. Usually I would use a gig, but I'm currently low on memory, so I will use 512. Feel free to use whatever you have memory for. We'll select VM Network and VMXNet free. VMware Power Virtual for the SCSI controller. We'll not create a disk for now. And finish. Okay, so now we need to browse the data store. Go to our VM folder. Upload the downloaded GNOboot files, both of them. It will only show up as one in the data store browser, but that's fine. Close that. Go to Edit Settings. And we can remove the CD drive and the floppy drive. Don't need to, but may as well. Go to Add Hard Disk. Use existing virtual disk. Browse to your data store, your virtual machine folder, and select your GNOboot VMDK. Make sure it's set to 0:0 for the virtual device node. Finish. Okay. Now we add another hard disk. Create a new virtual disk. I'm going to use 16 gig. I'm going to set it to SCSI 01. Finish. Okay. Now we've got that set as that, which we don't want. We want it set to VMware Power Virtual. So just click it, press Change Type, and select VMware Power Virtual. Okay. Once that's done, we need to power it on. And we'll open a console to it. Make sure to select gnoboot.me, not the alpha option. Select gnoboot 5.0-4458, install upgrade downgrade. It will begin the loading of the kernel and modules. Okay, now we're at the DiskStation login prompt. We need to Control-Alt to leave control of the virtual machine. We need to load up Synology DiskStation Synology Assistant and search. There's our device there, running at 1.3. Just double click it. Select next. Install DSM from computer. Select our DSM. Links in the description. Next. Create a password. Name it. And press install. It's going to take a little while, so I will pause the video and come back. Okay, so now that the install's done, we can see there it's completing install, and here it's checking the upgrade file. This will take a few minutes. We should see the DiskStation login prompt any minute now. There we go. Login as root. and the password you selected during the install of Synology DSM. Power off the machine. Okay, so now that we have DSM installed, we need to create an RDM for our physical hard drive. To do that, we need to make sure that we have SSH access enabled on ESXi. If you followed the guide on installing ESXi, then that should already be enabled, as that's part of the steps. If not, then please enable it and then come back to this tutorial. Right, so now that you've got SSH enabled on your ESXi install, we need to load up PuTTY if you're on Windows. Linux users can just use SSH. Connect to the IP address of our ESXi server, in my case 192.168.1.2. Log in as root, and the password you set during the ESXi install. Okay, now we're in ESXi shell. To get a list of the disks that we can use, type ls/dev/disks. We can see the T10.ATA ST2000 and the T10.ATA VB0250. The VB0250 is the default hard drive included with a N54L server. The ST2000 is my 2TB drive. I want to map the 2TB drive. Firstly, let's create a folder called RDM in our data store. To do this, we'll just mk directory /vmfs volumes, our data store name, RDM. Okay, now we just need to create the RDM. vmkfs tools space -z space /vmfs devices disks T10 ST2000 in my case, please use your own ID, space vmfs volumes 250 data store. Whatever your data store is called would obviously need to be entered there instead of mine. RDM, and then a file name, in my case 2TB drive 1.vmdk. Enter. There we go, it's done. Okay, so now we need to go back to our vSphere client, press edit settings, go to add, hard disk, next, use existing virtual disk, browse, our data store, RDM, 2TB drive 1. Next, independent persistent, next, finish. Okay. And now for pretty much the final step, we just power the machine back on. There's the prompt. And now we will connect back to it on Chrome or whatever browser you're using. It should work. There we go. Log back in. The system is getting ready. Don't worry about that. Just leave it for about 20 seconds. Or just keep trying it. And there we go. Welcome. Okay, so there you go. There's DSM installed on your ESXi hypervisor running on your N54L. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below or on my website.